they moan and they fuss and they say we want, we bet, and they abuse and they cuss and they say this is a threat. Yes, they damn and they blast and they say we hope it ain't true. They won't dare to cancel. We jump up 1972. Mama, when they...
Hi, Sir Martin. This is Mark Mingo, candidate of the UP Party. I would like to invite you to the UP Congress at Ali's Convention Center in Madam Estate. Here you get a chance to meet me in person, to discuss the issues, to discuss the economy, and also to discuss the topics which are actually affecting your life, and to further enlighten you and explain you about the vision and where I, as Mark Mingo, will take the mountain.
Some of them even say it's the guns on Monaco, so they won't let me play, and they blaming polio. Who they think they could fool? All we know they better do fast. Polio or no polio, man we want we must. Mama when they hear. And they start to jump around, and they start to tumble down, and they fall down on the ground. If you see how they came, but what was so comical in the midst of Bacchanal? Rain comes and wash out Martin Bay.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. And of course, we continue with lovely road interviews. And today I have a good interview for you. I ain't telling you who it is yet. You got to wait because I'm launching people telling me, but Andrew, why the show ain't short? And I'm like, no, you was always complaining that you wasn't getting the whole hour. Now you're getting the whole hour and you're still complaining. So we on TV 15 and we on YouTube and we on Facebook. Subscribe, ding, please. But also but subscribe and share. I feel so cheap. Anyway, so today on the show, we have a flashback of the 2019-2020 election season. Of course, I continue to give it to you. I saw somebody in a government building and they told me, Andrew, we don't want to see old things, we want to say new things. And I say, hush your mouth, because you need to remember what these political parties promised you back in 2019 and say what they was going to do. All parties. I tell you already, nobody safe, everybody getting it. But we are giving you the campaigning 101. We're giving you the latest. So we have a good one for you. Let's begin. Over the weekend, I understand that there is a new candidate from the National Alliance that is going to cut some ass this upcoming elections. And that is, of course, this Darrell York. York. I don't know where he come from. I've never seen him in my life. I've never met him in my life, but apparently he's very popular because his launching was popping. It was full. I was like, but what's going on?
Welcome to the family, Darrell. It is an honor and a pleasure. I must say, from the first time that I met you, my spirit take you.
You real smart, you know. You ready?
Welcome back to the Late Night Show. Of course, as I promised, I have the one, the only, a special interview here for the late night because he's a rookie, just start, but it looked like he got experience already from his demeanor, from his team. He looked like he's ready to be the difference. I always like new candidates when they come in because it's a breath of fresh air, and that is, let me introduce Mr. Daryl York. How are you doing, sir?
Okay, Andrew, thanks for having me.
Always. Yeah. First of all, congratulations on a very nice launch.
Thank
it
you.
was the talk of the town, and I even had to do something on late night about it.
I saw that. Thanks for the plug.
Yeah, it was a blog there, right? Yeah.
Thanks for the plug.
No,
Yeah, it was a nice evening as well.
okay. Now, of course, during that time, you introduce yourself to the public, to your family, to the public with family, supporters, and of course, you taking this giant step when it comes to the political arena. But for those who didn't get a chance to watch or go to this launch, tell us a little bit about Daryl York.
Well, Dow York, 32 years old, civil engineer, works at Wimwood Roads. Came back from Holland after 12 years in Holland last year. So fresh back on the rock, as one would say. And yeah, while in Holland, studied civil engineering, worked in telecommunications for a couple of years, 6 years. So I have a bit of corporate experience as well.
Okay.
And, you know, I found it was time to move for a while now to move back to St. Martin. And I took full opportunity when the opportunity was given.
So you're not one of those students that decided, you know what, I just gonna stay away from this madness? Because I'm sure many people had to tell you, like, hey, where you gonna come back to? It's gonna be hell.
Yeah, you hear those stories as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was gone for 12 years. That's very long.
Very long.
And it's very easy to stay away at that. You know, you go for 4 years, it's easy to come back. But after 12 years, you're practically almost Dutch.
Yeah.
So it was a concerted effort, and it's something I always wanted to do. I didn't maybe even stay in Holland longer than I expected to.
Okay.
But you know, when you're in the flow when it comes to your professional career, sometimes you don't always. You go with the flow as it comes to you when it comes to experience. So I wanted to gain some more experience before moving back.
Okay.
To be able to contribute, than to just come and just to be part.
Be part of the hoopla. Now, Daryl, you know, for those who don't know, you grew up, so you born in St. Martin, grew up in St. Martin,
yes.
born and raised, and then you decided to go. The difference between the culture from the Netherlands and St. Martin, it's a big difference, right?
Night and day.
Night and day, I know. As far as, and you said telecommunications, so my mind just went right away like, hey, so that means when you come back to St. Martin and see that we're still using certain things, and you're like, oh.
I must say, I think the last 3-4 years, internet has been less peevish as, because you know, the first couple of years coming back, it's like, man, I used to this unlimited data, and then I come here, I got stay on this one gig, and but we getting there. We getting there. We even got 4G now, so
we getting there. When other countries got 5G, I think, right?
We gonna get them, man. Let them go through all the bugs and everything first.
Now, St. Martin is pretty young as far as country, from 10-10-10. So you could imagine, you know, not everybody is new, but you know, those you have some old politicians that have held on, but of course, then you have the new ones looking to make the change. What change do you want to bring?
I wouldn't look at it as change. I more look at it as progress, because change means you're starting from zero. Progress means you're taking what you have, and you're taking it to the next level.
Okay.
And looking at it from that aspect, you know, naturally my background is civil engineering. I specialized in infrastructure management, traffic and mobility.
Okay.
So naturally, infrastructure is like a second language to me. Along with that, a couple other passions, young creatives, so music and dance, all as well with sports, agriculture and healthcare.
But what's your passion? You're like, what's your real, like, if you had to pick one?
Infrastructure is my profession.
Infrastructure.
I would say sports is my passion.
Sports. What kind of sports?
Well, I did fighting sports growing up. I did taekwondo, I did kickboxing, I did basketball, I did swimming. I was a little bit of everything. But I did competition taekwondo.
Oh, competition taekwondo. Okay, so you got your black belt, or you didn't get that far?
Man, that's a long story, man. That's a long story. Andrew. Everything got politics in it.
Now, looking from the outside in, when it comes to politics, I always tell people that it's fun to always say that you can do better if you're looking from the outside, but then going actually knowing how the apparatus is, that you get a chance to look at the how a system is set up and how you think you can contribute to it.
Well, since moving back, I've been working at Women Roads as an infrastructure supervisor. As a supervisor, you're over all the infrastructure projects in your own portfolio. So, for example, I did the Bethlehem project in Dutch Quarter under the Plants family.
Okay.
And also, for example, I did the Bush Road and Union Road paving project, asphalt paving projects.
Oh.
So with the latter two projects, that was in conjunction, of course, with government. And working day to day with them, you have a closer perspective and a closer look to see how things really work.
Yeah, so you get a scope.
You get a real scope.
Okay.
So working in the private sector and working with government is two totally different worlds.
Yeah.
Some would say it's easier. Some would say it's a bit more intricate. And that sparked my interest to where, of course, we started focus groups with different people from different departments to really understand the apparatus. Like, for example, everybody I was thinking like, hey, why if I going to make a policy, it takes forever before it reach Parliament, and then you really find out it's like 10 to 14 steps before it could really reach where you got to reach.
And especially after Parliament.
and then there's the double checking and this and that before 2 years pass.
Correct.
Those are things that are kind of eye-openers if you didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've been very studious since, even in Holland, following the Dutch politics, because that's a hot item as well.
Yeah.
The government just filed the other day.
Correct.
So that was a hot item in the last couple of years in Holland, and you see the slight similarities and also the stark differences between the two. As you alluded to, there's a big difference in cultures between St. Maarten and Holland.
Yeah, correct.
And, one would say moving to Holland, it's a culture shock.
Correct.
Moving from, layback island, you go on your
everybody,
everybody.
Everybody says hello.
Yeah, especially that. And then you move to Holland and you realize like, hey, okay, you don't really care how I doing today.
Fast paced. Everything is fast.
Yeah, fast paced. But what people also underestimate is even though you're born and raised on St. Maarten, and if you were to stay away for too long, moving back is also a culture shock.
Oh, okay. That's a new one.
Even though you're born and raised there.
Yeah.
So you're born and raised here, for example, for myself, moving back after 12 years, it's like, why this thing taking so long? Like, but how I isolate for a meeting? Like, it's simple things that you were reprogrammed with going to Holland, good and the bad.
Yeah.
And when you come back, you have to remind yourself, like,
change.
We back home now.
Yeah, back home.
Things are a little different.
St. Maarten way of things.
Yeah, and that comes with its positives and negatives as well. So I would say the culture shock goes both ways.
But politics in St. Maarten, it's not for the weak. I always say it on my show because it can get nasty. And how do you tend to stay away from that type of politicking? Because I'm sure that nobody. If nobody warn you, let me warn you. Politicking sometimes can get very, very, very nasty. So how do you remain focused? Because I want to really, really know how Darrell York deals with that.
There's a saying: you have optimistic people, you have pessimistic people. I'm more pragmatic. So basically, when it comes to ideas, visions, opinions, people's opinions, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, I don't put a personal feeling behind it. That's something that you learn in Holland.
Oh.
You can't take everything personal, Andy.
Okay.
You can't take everything personal. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But taking things from the pragmatic aspect of things, like, okay, this is what you thought it was, this is what it is, and this is what you guys claiming it to be. Okay. Where's the middle ground? Where's the logic and all of this? And as a engineer, you're, I would say, brainwashed into thinking and doing everything in phases. So in every situation, Unknowing to myself, I'm breaking everything down.
Yeah, yeah.
Breaking everything down, looking at this one, that one, past, present, future, to come to a...
It looked like you don't believe in a problem.
No, I believe in solutions.
Solutions. I
I
like
believe in solutions. If you dwell on the problem, you never get to the solution.
I got that. I got that.
So, being the fact that I still have a job means I'm good at finding solutions.
Yeah, definitely. The traffic situation on St. Martin is one thing. And I'm sure that you having to look at it, it's a problem that we've been dealing with for years.
Everybody's shaking their head.
Yeah, because it's like, whew. So of course, coming from the Netherlands and also having a background in that, you have any solutions when it comes to that?
I have a question for you, actually. When now
No
that you
problem.
posed it, you said traffic situation.
Yeah.
What are you alluding to exactly when you say traffic situation?
I'm talking about the fact that we have 16 square miles. Do we have too many cars? Because we have traffic in Simpson Bay from bumper to bumper. We have the St. Peter's area in the mornings that is ridiculously, yeah. You leave 6 o'clock, you reach town 8 o'clock. So
So you're alluding to the
traffic congestion.
traffic congestions.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say traffic congestions is the main infrastructure problem on the island? Should be the priority?
You the engineer, Darren.
I'm
I
asking
don't
you.
know.
I'm asking you.
I would say it's one of,
Would it be the main one?
not the main, but it's one
What would
of
be the main one? What would be the main one to you?
roads.
Roads.
Yeah,
We need more roads.
we need more roads.
Okay.
But we don't have more space.
No, that's what they say. That's what they say. But, space is to be created.
That's true.
But the reason I asked that question, look, so if I was to build a road tomorrow, go straight around Emilio Wilson Park, not true. Around Emilio Wilson Park, go over the hill, the link 6, link 8, whatever the number of the link they've been thinking about for long so while. Would that solve the infrastructure problem on the island?
It will alleviate traffic.
Because if you ask me, you don't get the same problem on that road that you have now on the current roads.
Why?
Because right now the main problem is potholes. So before we fix the problem that we have in the potholes, you want to make a new road for that road to get potholes too. Because we don't put the road, we still going to complain about it. You see, like I said, you got to think in phases. You got to fix the problem that you have before you create a new problem.
Okay.
So right now, we have problem with our underground, the combination of asphalt we're using, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Once we figure that out, then we can put road wherever you want. Put a floating road, you can put it anywhere you want. But you got to go in phases. Fix the problem that you have before you create a new problem by trying to fix another problem. And that's what I mean with forward thinking. And when you're asking me what I would want to bring to the arena is that forward thinking. Like, for example, 15, 20 years ago, we had a beautification project in town.
Correct.
Successful. I mean, we went from nothing to something.
Yeah.
In many ways. But at the time, we all were happy. Are we in things?
Yeah.
Fast forward 15, 20 years, the same people that were happy now complaining because we can't park nowhere.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful, albeit it not being sustainable.
Yeah. They didn't look at ahead.
But at the moment in time, we check mark all the boxes that we wanted to check mark. Hey, we need to be competitive. We need to have something because we don't have anything. It needs to be an eye catcher. We achieved all those things.
Correct.
But we ain't got nowhere to walk now. We ain't got nowhere to park now.
Yeah.
And then
used to be a problem. Yeah.
And now the question is revitalize town.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to walk 100, 200 meters to go to a restaurant.
I suppose to, but yeah.
So when we say infrastructure, we just had potholes and parking. What everybody thinks, more roads. We could come to that. But to me, we go in stages. That's like stage 3 in my head.
Yeah. So fix what we have now.
Fix what you have before you create more problems by not focusing on what you have to focus on right now. And once you have that, once you build your new road, you know that road ain't gonna get no pothole neither. And you know next to the road gonna have parking.
That's actually a good point. The man got me. All right.
You
Wait.
gotta call it there, man.
Yeah, man, because I did like, I ain't think on that self because I say, but let me just build roads.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
look, you could always And that's one of the reasons why, I joined the National Alliance. I chose to join the National Alliance.
You just take away my not a question, man.
One step ahead of you.
Forward thinking.
Forward thinking, forward thinking. No, but that's one of the reasons I chose to join the National Alliance because, you could go two directions in decision making. You could take the popular decision today that's going to lead to unpopular result tomorrow. Basically, you make the popular decision, everybody likes it in the newspaper, you got all the praise, and by the time the unpopular result comes, maybe you're not in office no more, nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
You get away scot-free.
Yeah.
Or you take the unpopular decision now, knowing that the popular result is going to follow. With that option, you get a lot of flack because nobody care about paperwork.
No.
Nobody care about paperwork. I don't care about paperwork neither. People like to see tangible stuff.
Yeah.
Think something they could touch, smell, see.
Yeah.
And, taking that route is a risky and a ballsy route to take. And, I commended that decision. So I saw myself in that type of ideology, but I'm also a guy of results. So that's more of the reason why NA was more for me and also where I want to go with the party as well. Because now they could say, the paperwork done. Now it's time to get the things really realized.
Okay. Looking at the legislation, because Parliament is all about legislation. Usually, when people do the whole campaigning, they campaign on projects, they campaign on what they looking to do, but it's also about the expertise, what the candidate can bring to the table. So that's why I always ask these pertinent questions about, the candidate's know-how. But it's still a parliamentary election. So I'm
Correct.
sure legislation is something that you've also been looking at, and we have a lot of outdated legislation.
A lot of outdated legislation. And that's one side of the coin.
Yeah.
And there's also legislation to be, when it comes to mandates, et cetera, to be reallocated, in my opinion.
Okay.
As you said, St. Martin is a young country. To be exact, 13 years
13
old.
years old, yeah.
Not even 14 yet.
Yeah, not even a teenager.
Not even a teenager. So in 10-10-10, it's a bunch of smart people came together, made a bunch of legislation, a bunch of laws, divvy it up, bap, that goes to that ministry, that goes to that ministry, that goes to that ministry.
Well, actually, we kind of took about a couple of hundreds of documents and we just passed it openly, blindly.
Basically.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been, correct me if I'm wrong, there hasn't been a reevaluation of, okay, we did this for 10, 13 years.
Only when we get in an issue is when we need to fix this.
Yeah.
And then it goes to Parliament and then they look at it. That's the only time. It's only when, if there's no precedent set, it's like it's in the law, but is it?
Yeah. So basically with the forward thinking that I want to bring to the arena is, okay, don't wait until there's a problem to fix a problem. Because, for example, sewage. If you have water running on your road, you're like, okay, come fix this. Why nobody getting boot? Why this still happening? You know what I mean? Whereas, if I was to ask you right now, which ministry would you go to for sewage?
Automatically from me.
Do they have the mandate to boot you if you have sewage problems?
No, they don't.
Okay. Should they?
Nobody likes to get a wood, Daryl. So, I mean, nobody.
No, but I mean, these questions has not been posed yet. These questions have not been handled yet. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
So before you go making new legislations, you have to see if the legislations you have now are being optimally used.
Yeah.
The correct way or by the right people. And by the right people, the right departments, the right ministries, or whatever, whomever you have it.
So we need to look at the infrastructure we have now.
You gotta know what you have.
Yeah.
Because you have...
And how it's also enforced.
How it's also enforced. Because without it being on the right spot, it can't be enforced the right way either.
Yeah, I understand.
Especially with the lack of manpower right now.
Yeah.
Processes need to be optimal to still get a job done. If you have all the yellow tape in between it still, maybe when you have a full department, you might get away with it. But the minute people start falling off and you need to get the same thing cranked out with less hands, that's where the yellow tape going to strangle you.
Yeah, and then it turns into red. Yeah, I got you. I got you. So, but as far as the different laws is concerned, I mean, is there one in particular or something that you would like to focus on? It would be towards looking at the different ministries because the committees of Parliament, for example, have different committees. Is it being used to its fullest potential? It's a different story. But there are committees that can do a lot more when it comes to working with the government to actually get some stuff done.
Yeah. So to answer your question, coastal zone management.
Okay.
You know, we dredging.
Yeah.
That comes with its own negative sides as well.
Consequence.
Comes with its own consequences as well.
Yeah.
I don't think that we have a detailed legislation right now. Surely there is. I don't think it's detailed enough to prevent certain things from happening 10, 15 years from now. Because if someone used to dive in Great Bay 30 years ago and they dive now, it's not going to be the same experience.
Correct.
You know, and that's by no one's fault. But if you don't have the policy there or the legislation there to prevent things from happening, you have nothing to hold you back or to make you think like, hey, I should look out for this. So where that is concerned, also, you know, and that's where the Are You Ready thing is comes in as well. Are you ready? That's a slogan.
Oh, I thought it was forward thinking, but okay. Because you said like 6 times. I was like, that's it.
No.
Okay.
It ties into it. It ties into it well though. It's a reflective challenge. You know, a lot of times people think, hey, if you know your biggest dream in the world, if I could just get this, I'll be set. I good.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you really take a step back. You say, hey, if I was to wave a magic wand, somebody was to wave a magic wand, and I was to get whatever I wanted right now, am I equipped enough to handle it or to execute it if I was to get it tomorrow? Some people, the answer would be yes, but most people, if you're really honest with yourself, the answer would be no.
Yeah. Okay.
If you really think about it.
I know. I am.
You know what I mean? So in saying that, you know, right now, a lot of people are dependent, especially the I wouldn't say the lower class, but where
Middle class.
Middle class,
Yeah.
where income is concerned.
Oh, yeah. The
Is
low income earners.
Lower income
Yeah.
families
Yeah.
are dependent on government.
Very much so.
Whereas with the proper education, I don't mean education that you learn in school. Education on what your opportunities are, what you have. And granted, some people don't have anything.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about those. Don't kill me. I'm not talking about those. But how many times, Andrew, you sit back and you hear about somebody who inherit land, needed a quick dollar to sell it off cheap? And then those are the same, that's the same person that can't get a loan by the bank.
Yeah.
And that's the same person that feel they can't move forward in life
Correct.
because they have no assets.
Correct.
We saying St. Martin is for sale. It ain't locals buying from locals.
Nope. It's local selling.
It's
actually.
locals selling.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fact.
You know? So
Yeah.
in order to sell, you had to have.
Yeah. So
And if
we
you
had-
had, it's an asset. But we sell it as if it was a liability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But people aren't really, and that was just a mere example, educated on what their options are
Yeah.
and what they can do with what they have. Because that same person that sold it for 20,000 or 30,000 on the quick could have got a bank loan for 200,000 based on the equity you would get from that land.
Correct.
Mere example. And in other sectors, we could make a lot more examples as well.
Yeah.
So I feel if people get properly educated on the things that they're not aware of, chances can be also created as well where they're less dependent on government in certain aspects. Because now you go from someone that thinking, hey, I don't have nothing, to now I could get half my house, 3/4 of my house financed by the bank. Whereas I couldn't even get a bank loan yesterday. I thought I couldn't get a bank loan yesterday. So it's just that reflective thinking and being like, hey, this is what I want. Okay, like for instance, you just starting something you want, and if you was to get it tomorrow,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be ready for it. Now maybe unknowingly to yourself, when you leave here, you'll be like, well, I gotta start doing
it.
something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got myself
You need a
prepared.
push too. Yeah. The education and the push is important.
That is what my campaign is mainly focusing on. Like, you know, we could come with all the ideas in the world for infrastructure, for whatever field have you. But as one parliamentarian, because a lot of times people running for government and they say, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do the other. But you're one of 15.
Correct.
We're having a real honest conversation here.
Correct.
You're one of 15. You can't do anything. You, singular person by yourself, cannot do anything.
That's correct.
And that's a misconception people have in running, in campaigning, in voting, and being.
They forget this has to be done by
it's
majority.
It's a collaborative,
and it has to be done also. You can even cross the aisle sometimes and even ask for support from your colleagues.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, and tomorrow, for example, I have a radio show with a running mate of mine, Shamir Khanna.
Yeah.
I've done one already with Charles Pompier. And a lot of people came to me like, Dara, why are you doing that? Like, that's competition. Why are you sitting down with the competition? I'm like, what?
Competition on the same part. Yeah.
Whether or not it's on the same party or not, look, at the end of the day, whether you get in or not, you need each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if anybody looks at how government has been run for eons now, one would say there's not enough teamwork. There's not enough collaboration. And especially the new ones on NA right now, we're trying to show that that's not how we work. So basically, I did an interview already with Charles. I'm doing an interview tomorrow with Shami. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to show the community how we, as a collaborative, think about how government should be run. It's a collaborative effort.
Yeah, can't do it by yourself.
You can't do it by yourself, and you can't be on your own island. You need one another to still make it move because, as a singular parliamentarian, even a singular minister sometimes, you can't get the things done you want to get done because you need a cross-ministerial, maybe cooperation.
You need a council of ministers.
You need a council of ministers. You need, if you're a parliamentarian, sometimes you even need opposition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that collaborative mindset, teamwork mindset is something that we especially the new candidates on the NA, because we have like 8 of us, believing in what we're championing moving forward.
Now, of course, this is going to be a long campaign. So you've already hit the streets. You've talked to people already. How are they feeling out there? Are they excited, or you have to do a lot of convincing?
Well, it's not a secret. People are sick of politics.
Okay.
Let's keep it honest. People are sick of politics.
Okay.
And I could understand why.
Yeah.
I could really understand why. And going into postulating myself, the biggest shock was, Darryl, you running? Ain't to say we don't believe you could do it, but you running?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Because, take my last name away from it.
Yeah.
I never saw a color in my life.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one would say I've been apolitical my whole life.
Okay.
So I understand why that person would
The shock, yeah.
I understand the shock. So I'm gonna sit down there and tell you no, and you still got to vote, and you still got to this. No, you should vote if you feel whoever you're voting for inspire you to get out your bed to go and vote still.
Yeah.
That's who you should vote for. Not the person who give you the best comment saying they're gonna give you an economical plan to save the world and all type of thing. You know what I mean? Because if that was possible, you could have read it in a book. If you could have turned a country from after a natural disaster like Irma or COVID into a utopia within 4 years, that book would have been made and it would have been a best publisher, a bestseller. You know what I mean? Or if someone that says, hey, I come in with the plan of the world to save St. Martin, vote for me, show me that one person, I'll show you a liar. No one has all the answers. Even as an engineer, I could be calculating a bridge. 5 people still got to check it.
Yeah.
And they ain't checking it because they feel I'm not competent.
Yeah.
But that's what you need to make sure.
That it's a full circle.
It's a full circle. So in all aspects of life, in all professions, if you want to have a proper moving train, you need that teamwork, you need that collaboration.
Why vote for Darryl York? I know I'm going to ask you this because we're going to have more interviews, but why vote for Darryl York?
Why vote for Darryl York? If you believe in forward thinking, competency, pragmatism, honesty, transparency, and accountability, then I'm your guy. If you believe in sports, infrastructure, the young creatives, health, agriculture, if that's high on your list, then I'm high on your list as well. And if you're wondering if you're ready or not, and you want to get ready, then I'm the guy to help the island to get ready to get what they really want to get in life. And sometimes that's not what they think and what they know, but upon more deeper reflection, you'll be surprised with what you come up with.
It's your first interview? All
That's
right.
the first visual one.
Jeez, man. Man, already watch the camera like, listen. Listen to
Are
me.
you gonna zoom in there?
Yeah, we gotta zoom in. Man. All we need is your number and we good.
Oh, I need it too.
Yeah, man. That was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And at least people get to know a little bit about you. I'm sure you're going to roll out your campaign in grand style with different information sessions.
The same standard you saw at you heard of and you saw at the launch. We're maintaining straight through. Straight through. Okay, I like it. And of course, I look forward to I do host some debates also, so you can come on to with the other candidates and share some of the different perspectives. That would be great. Sure.
Thank you to Daryl York for coming. Of course, he's on the National Alliance. No number yet, but it's coming. All right, when postulation come, you'll find out. That's what matters.
Yes.
All right, you're watching Late Night. We'll be right back.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? But sorry, no sir. They got this game tonight and I can't miss it. Me and my boy, we gotta watch the game, you know. So I bringing this in. You check? Alright, let me watch your leg go. Watch your leg.
Sir, sorry. Why so difficult? Look, I'm watching TV here on my phone with the Tel TV Plus app. You really gotta upgrade.
Okay, so Miss, tell me about the Tel TV Plus. I hear about this.
Okay, so once you apply for Tel TV Plus, you can enjoy it anytime on the go.
Anytime?
Anytime.
On the go?
On the go. You simply download the app, log into your account at any time, sit back and enjoy. You will never have to miss your match.
Yo, bus driver, take me back to tell him now, please.
Take a chip now. Shake it. Young DJ plays. Run and tell them I say we are the sound them selectors play. Every day, making you sway. And when the girl them tell it, and shadow dingole, DJ Blaze what to say. We are the sound of soca. Big bad soca.
At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and an exciting new airport mall. Finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport. The experience will move you.
the 2021 Parliament took office today. I'm excited. I can't wait. And it was just as we expected. Confusion, confusion, confusion. And I know we have to have hope because they're going to get it right this time. And they're going to be fine. I know. But I'm here to tell you the truth. All right, so let me start off. So here's the picture of the lovely new members of parliament. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 15 members of parliament. Interesting. Of course, the tallest member of parliament, Rolando Bryson, is there in front. I don't understand why they don't put the tall people in the back. Why is he in front? I don't understand. Jesus. Also, I see in that, hey, who's that guy next to Rolando? Oh, Melissa Gomes, sorry, okay, the suit is, I didn't know, just joking, go women. All right, then of course we have there the Sarah Westcott Williams, they're smiling next to Ray Peterson. Ray Peterson looked like he has a plan. He has a plan to just mess up everything in there. That's interesting, that's gonna be good. Of course, look at Chris. Chris with a bow tie. Yeah. He still ain't signed, people. I don't understand why he didn't sign the coalition agreement as yet, but he still ain't signed. I guess he's going to be independent member of parliament very soon. Severa Jacobs. I know this is like the most sexist thing to say, but get some balls and kick out Chris from the National Alliance. How long is he gonna just keep people hostage? And the thing is, what I don't get is that everybody's just quiet about it. We're not gonna talk about it. Like, he is part of your party. The coalition agreement was signed by 9 persons. He has to be the only one that still has to sign to make it 10. But instead, he just ain't sign it and nobody just ain't gonna talk about it because it's Chris. We all scared of Chris. Ooh, be very scared. I don't understand why you're being scared, Silveria. So I'm just gonna say it again. Chris ain't signed. He ain't signed for it. Why is it that we just not talking about it? And the thing is, he just ain't saying nothing about it either in parliament. He's just there in parliament today like the whole time. Why? Say something to Chris. You're gonna sign for it. You're a member the opposition. You're a member of the National Alliance. You're independent. You're a ghost. What are you, Chris? What are you? You're just gonna be there as space. Like, hopefully you're gonna say something. Anyway, Claudius Boncampo was there also, first time in parliament, and also our new minister, the gangster minister himself, Omar Otley. He was there all the way to the back. They're hiding. He should probably wear a hat. I see the hairline is just like the hairline is. Anyway, also Theo Heiliger was. Oh no, sorry, his wife. I gotta get used to it. Krisha. Her name is Krisha Andrew. Krisha. Okay. Krisha was there. Yes, Krisha was there. So. Congratulations to all members of parliament. Of course, Patrick Starfish was there. Sorry. Akeem Arinal. Akeem, yes. It's like, what am I doing here? Okay. So go, Akeem! Cheering for him. I can't wait to hear him speak in parliament. I thought I would have heard him today, but he was like, where's the mic? Anyway, let's start off with your speeches. The first person to talk was, of course, the longest member of parliament. He was there when Jesus came down. William Allen, he was there. He opened the meeting and he gave a very roaring speech. And then I woke up and he was still talking. So we're going to just skip his speech and go to the second person, which is the leader of the PFP. And that's, of course, Melissa Gomes. Now, everybody's asking, Andrew, what you going to do to make fun of Melissa because, you know, you can't do the whole lesbian jokes because it's going to be too crazy. So I won't. But I am going to alter her voice. I never said I was not going to alter her voice. So you see what I do with the Prime Minister when I give her the chipmunk voice? Guess who's going to be the Darth Vader of Parliament. Take a look.
As we sit today to appoint the individuals who will, in essence, guide this legislative body through the growing pains that continue to impact St. Martin, I would humbly request that we all keep in mind the following. We have 15 chosen representatives. The theory of democracy is that now, tensions of the campaign melt away, and we are to come together and work towards the betterment of the lives of all those who call St. Martin home. Because human nature sometimes works opposite to this theory, we would all do well to note that forward progress cannot be accomplished without three key elements. Firstly, cohesion, not just within our own factions, but when necessary, across those lines. While the path we chart in our minds may differ from time to time, the end goal in our hearts must surely be the same, to improve the quality of life for all on St. Martin. It was echoed throughout the campaign that if initiatives that serve the best interests of the country were brought forward, serious consideration should be given regardless of the initiator. It is my sincerest hope that we put our vote where our mouth is when that time comes. Secondly, respect for one another, for the offices that we hold, and for all the people of St. Martin. It is nothing new for the political arena to be rough and tumble at times. From ancient Greeks to present day, democracies are peppered with examples of robust dialogue that still remains respectful. While it may seem entertaining to clout chase, it is to our own detriment and that of the people we serve to continue with the emotional hijacking and sometimes petty politics that has very often taken place in the People's House over the last 9 years.
And then next up, we have Rolando Bryson, our tallest member of parliament, was elected as the president of parliament, which is a big achievement. Now he's a parliamentarian with a hammer. That's it. That's the extent of his powers. Because, he doesn't have the votes to really, be powerful. So maybe if he asks Krisha advice, because Krisha got more votes than him, and he's the leader. He hates it when I mention it, but I love it because I know he hates it. Better luck in 2021, my friend. So yes, he spoke, and of course he said Kumbaya, up leader, and of course Theo Heiliger is the best. That's basically his extent of his speech. Okay, let's skip that one. Then we have Miss Krisha Heiliger Martin spoke, and of course we're gonna play a game, and the game is, let's see how many times she mentioned her husband in her speech. Yeah? Okay, let's play the game.
In 9 days, it would be 1 year to the day when they came and took my husband and charged and changed our lives forever. I went from standing up for my husband and defending him to standing up for my right for postulating myself, and today now standing up for St. Martin, for the people of St. Martin. Today, I want to first and foremost be thankful and grateful to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for bringing me here in my next chapter of life. As I begin the work of defending the rights and improving the lives of the people of St. Martin, I must take a moment to reflect. And in reflection, I can't ignore the real power in St. Martin, which is the people of St. Martin who elected me in this critical position as Member of Parliament. I want to thank every one of you for entrusting me and with this great, great honor. Lastly, I would like to thank my husband, Theo Heiliger, for mainly believing in me. Your support and encouragement means the world to me. You are my rock. And it was my husband's grandfather, Dr. Claude Watty, that started a legacy of service to this country by putting the people first and ensuring the progress of the country. Theo, my husband, then followed in his grandfather's footsteps and continued the improvement of St. Martin to make it a global force in trade and tourism. I am honored and humbled to start this journey of continuing the legacy of my husband, Theodore Heiliger, and his grandfather, Dr. Claude Watty, and by putting the people first.
All right, so you see, she said it a couple times. Now, this is by far my favorite speech, and that is, of course, Omar Otley, because he came, first of all, camera people at Parliament, you need to zoom out when the tall giant speaking, because I was watching it on my phone and he just came at me like,
I was like, yo, he's like right here. Like I was just, he's huge. But anyway, he made a speech, and he spoke with his hands. I don't know. It's just like it's very intimidating. So I'm not gonna say much before I get a slap. But this is what he said.
I think it's time now that we put St. Martin first. Put the people first. Out of 111 candidates, out of 111 candidates, we are the lucky 15 to be here today. I would like to start off by saying, when you look at me, I think I'm the epitome of determination. I was probably the last person that anyone would expect to be running on a list, and much less to be elected in the fashion that I was elected. I think now is the time for change. I think now is the time that we put our differences aside, like my colleague said. Once we enter the doors, the politics is over. A great politician once said, there's too much politics in politics. If we remove some of the politics in politics, everything would run as it should. With that being said, I would like to send a message to my older colleagues and the younger colleagues and those that are entering with me. If we look at St. Martin, they has wisen up. St. Martin no longer accept the ship jumpers. The results for the election has proven it. Look at the people around. Anyone involved in such activities was not re-elected. So I ask you guys, because I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this for 4 years. I ask you guys to commit yourself to be in this for the long haul and regain the trust of the people of St. Martin. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The field rolling on dubs. How you feel? Whoop-de-whoop, nigga, what? All right. Sarah Westcott Williams, our longest member of parliament. No, wait. Because she and William just have like a competition on who was here before. So let's go. So William was here when Jesus came down, and Sarah was here when Eve was made. That's comparable. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so she made a speech. It was, of course, hey, we're gonna continue working for St. Martin. I don't know what that means because she's like one person out of 15. So she doesn't even have like another member or members. She's not part of the coalition. So she'll just be like a loudmouth in parliament. But she says she's gonna like work on behalf of whatever that means. Nah, I won't be playing her speech. But the highest vote getter in this election, the one and only Sherendi Doran, our Minister of Justice and soon to be Minister of Roaming, made the most amazing speech today, and it really had me thinking that sometimes he really think we are the dumbest sucker ever. I just don't understand his speech. Listen, he said, we gotta be humble. And we gotta be, we gotta have, patience, and we have to work for St. Martin. And whenever you get in a position of power, you have to make sure you work in the best interest of St. Martin. And I was like, this is the same nigga that wanted to be prime minister a few weeks ago. Like, as soon as he heard he had 800 votes, he was like, I want to be prime minister now. I want to be prime minister because my mother want me to be prime minister. So I gotta be prime minister. I want to be prime minister. And everybody was like, Sherendi, you can't be prime minister. You just reach into politics. I don't know. I want to be prime minister. I want to be prime minister. And then today, we all need to come together and don't let it go to your head. Don't let it swell you. I was like, but is anybody hearing this? How is... I know, you don't believe me. This is what he said in Parliament. Check it for yourself.
We've witnessed a major shift in St. Martin politics, to say the least. I heard my colleagues draw reference to the fact of the age, and I would also like to thank those that came before us, because a country without knowledge of the past are destined to repeat it and fail in the future to come. I would also like to say my message to those newly elected members of Parliament and those newly appointed ministers to come: always remain humble, always remain level-headed, because at the end of the day, when this is all over, we have to go amongst those same people. So our people. So do not get comfortable, do not get carried away. The same energy, the same vibe that we had during the campaign, try to maintain it and also remain true to what you say. Because it's one thing to love St. Martin with your mouth and another to love it with your actions. I would like to see a combination of both across the board and also like to see our country move forward.
I want me Prime Minister? That's just crazy. Okay, so you got your preview. I am not mentioning who's going to become minister anymore. I did a show on Friday about it. Look it up. It's right there. So we're not doing that. But congratulations to all new members of parliament and welcome to the new season of Late Night. I can't wait. It's like new characters, new stuff. Now, we're going to have some members of parliament who didn't make it. It's going to be consulting for the Late Night show. So we have the Pastor Wycliffe Smith. He's going to be our spiritual advisor to the new parliament. And then, of course, our former Minister of Tourism, Stuart Johnson, he's going to be the fashion expert of the Late Night. Yeah, it works, right? Yeah, you see, I do things for you, you know? So, of course, I'm still waiting to look for something for the worst Minister of Justice in St. Martin history, Cornelius the Weaver. I can't find nothing for him yet. Because, yeah, maybe he could, I don't even know, like, just anything to mess anything up, I'll give him the job. But I have nothing to mess up yet. Haha, get it? All right, so that's what I have so far. We're going to still look for more positions because we need to get the politicians, we got to keep them employed. And all the money they spend during the elections, now it's time to give back. Yeah. Okay? Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good show for you today. It's all about new beginnings. So we're going to just, of course, go through the old members of parliament and their optimism when they were sworn in. And they was like, you know, this is going to be the 4 years and 4 years. And then 1 year, one and a half year later, it's like back to elections. It's like, St. Martin, this is what you want. That is it for the Late Night Show. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Mr. York. Good luck on your campaign. And of course, let's see if he could withstand the pressure of what they call St. Martin is not a real place. But it can be. All right. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
And they start to jump around, and they start to tumble down.